Hey Instagram fam. So I wanted to pop on here and do a video because it's been a little while and I had some stuff I wanted to talk about that was probably going to be too much to put in my stories. So I thought I would do a video here. And I'm probably going to upload this to YouTube as well because I've been kind of non-existent over there. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hello. So yeah, here I am. No makeup, I'm in my PJs. It's later in the afternoon. And I was reflecting on a post that I did over on my profile earlier this afternoon about whose voices are in your head. And I wanted to, you guys can go read that if you want. I will, you can hop over to my Instagram profile if you're on Instagram watching this, or if you're on YouTube, there's a link down in the video description below to the post. But I wanted to talk a little bit about why I wanted to post that because I think it's really important. So a lot of you guys know that I have been going through a really challenging season of life this year. It was already super stressful last year in 2017, and then 2018 started out being pretty stressful as well. And then I feel like everything kind of culminated into just this big thing, and the straw that broke the camel's back was the dog attack that my dog and myself suffered right after we moved into our new home. So I feel like that dog attack really was the straw that broke the camel's back because I was already super tired and really overwhelmed, and also struggling some with my health just from all of the stress and the uncertainty and the chaos of all of the months prior. And that really did me in. So that was an experience unlike anything I've ever experienced before. I'm not going to go into a lot of details about it. I think I'll do a separate video about the dog attack and the things that I learned, because that's totally, that could take up so many videos. But so let's just say that the dog attack kind of created this cascade of challenges. So personal challenges, professional challenges, emotional challenges, physical challenges, relationship challenges. It opened the door for a really challenging season. And I have some theories and suspicions about what all is happening around that, but that's for a different video too. But one thing that I really started noticing, especially recently, was that there were so many voices inside my head. And I'm not talking about voices in like a psychological, like mental illness standpoint. That's completely different. But just all of these voices of other people's expectations and other people's requests and other people's requirements, and all of these things that other people thought that I should do or think that I should do. And a lot of it was even stemming from, you know, years back, and maybe even from childhood, from impressions that I was given about what it meant to be successful, or what it meant to be happy, or 5 million other things, right? So every single day we have all of these voices inside our head. We have all of these expectations that are coming externally. And a lot of times, especially if you're in a challenging season, it can get a little bit hard to bear because we start to lose track of who we are. What is our voice? What are the things that we should be saying to ourselves? Now, sometimes our voice is the loudest and the most condescending and the most critical voice in the mix. So in those cases, which I've been struggling with too, not just hearing external voices, but also hearing that really critical, judgmental voice that I have, that inner critic. That's another video that I want to do because I have an inner critic exercise that's really powerful that I need to go back and review. But I feel like everyone experiences this type of stuff, but I feel like when you're dealing with chronic illness, or you happen to be in a challenging season of life where things maybe aren't just going as smoothly as they should be, or could be, then we become even more vulnerable to listening to all of those voices, whether it be the critical voice that we have, our own voice, or maybe the critical voices or the expectations of other people. Those maybe become way more prevalent because we are kind of in a weakened state. When we're going through a challenging time or when we're dealing with chronic illness, I feel like we are a lot more vulnerable to this kind of chatter, mental chatter and internal chaos. So, you know, when you're dealing with chronic illness and you're, you know, struggling, there's a lot of vulnerability that comes with that. And I feel like it takes so much work for us to keep up our guard all the time and to just always protect ourselves because we're so exhausted from trying to do everything else to do with our health that maybe we let our guard down a little bit and then those voices can start infiltrating and we find ourselves with a lot of internal chaos. And so that's the way that I feel like I can describe what was happening to me is I had all of this internal chatter and all of this chaos and my own voice, my own rational, uplifting voice was getting lost in all of the noise. And so I realized that I needed to take some steps to address that. And there's quite a few things that we can do, but one of the things that I really suggest people do, and I just did this over the weekend, is do a cleansing of our lives. And so that needs to be our online life. So our social media, who are we following on social media? Who are we friends with on Facebook? What kind of even like news and other blogs and stuff, what are we following? What are those things that, because every single time we see something on social media or we read an article, even if it's just a headline, that stuff comes into our brain and that takes up space. Even if we don't realize that it does, it does. Someone actually told me about a study about that recently, about headlines and mainstream media and how, anyways, that's totally a different topic. But so yeah, all of the stuff that we're bombarded with every single day, that all takes space in our brain. And at some point, we have to clear it out. And when we get super cluttered in our brain, we get super cluttered in our heart and our soul too. And so we have to take time to clean that out and set up some boundaries if we need to. So today's post, if you want to go read about it, was really about kind of the struggles that we all face and some of the struggles that I've been facing. But I encourage everyone, if you're feeling the same way, if you're going through a challenging time in life, if you are dealing with chronic illness, if you're dealing with some sort of injury, if you're just not feeling 100% yourself, it might be time to sit down and do an inventory of what is coming into your head every day. And it might mean getting rid, like cutting ties with some people. It might mean letting go of some friendships or some relationships. It might mean unfollowing pages that don't resonate with you anymore. It might be creating filters so you're not seeing certain things coming through your Facebook feed. There's a million things that we can do, but go and do that inventory about what noise is coming into your brain. What is taking up space in your brain and your heart and your soul? And I did that over the weekend, and I can tell you it made a huge difference. I noticed even within like 15 minutes of doing my purge, how much better I felt. Granted, I'm still dealing with some of the expectation stuff, but I feel a lot better having done that. So that's what inspired today's post over on my profile about what voices are in your head. And so if you've been feeling kind of chaotic and crazy and you're kind of feeling lost and not even sure who you are and who should you listen to and what should you do, whether it be your health or your career or whatever, it's time to do that inventory. And self-care, that's critical. Self-care is not selfish, and the very best thing that you can do is take care of your pretty much your most important asset, which is your brain. So I encourage you, if you're struggling right now, if you're going through a challenging season, do this inventory. Stop and take time to do this inventory and see how it makes you feel. And I would really love to hear from you if this is something that you practice regularly, or if you do a cleansing of all of this stuff and how it actually makes you feel. So I'm almost out of time, so I got to sign off. Talk to you later. Bye.